Mayor Daley is reacting tonight to the Channel 2 investigative team's latest reports on city payroll cheaters.
Mayor Daley says that any workers who cheat the taxpayers will be fired and sued to get back tax dollars. Pam Zeckman is back tonight with a look at what all this waste is costing all of us. Pam.
It's costing a lot, Antonio and Linda. In past years, we've documented payroll cheating by dozens of employees in several city agencies, Streets and Sand, the Department of Transportation, the city clerk, to name a few. And now the mayor is saying enough is enough.
Taxpayers are paying for this, and we're going to take appropriate action. Fire them, sue them civilly for loss of salaries and loss of time.
Loss of time we've been documenting for years. Our past reports have shown dozens of workers spending city time playing golf, shooting pool, going home, all at taxpayers' expense, abusing sick time and overtime, from low-level laborers to investigators and even bosses who covered up for payroll cheats working under them. Some have been forced to resign, others demoted or suspended, fired, even indicted and convicted for theft. And the latest additions to our list of time killers, this asphalt worker and building inspector we told you about last night. For the first time, we tried to figure out how much this is costing the taxpayers. So we added up all the salaries of city workers involved in payroll cheating that we've reported on in recent years. And the total comes to $1.7 million. And now we have another city worker to add to the list, this time from the city's water department. Richard Sorrentino makes more than $53,000 a year as a truck driver. Sometimes he even fills in as an acting foreman. Incredibly, Sorrentino also has another job duty. You're the timekeeper here, right?
Yes.
We have questions about how you spend your time. You're out for hours, not doing water department business.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're talking about how Sorrentino spent his time on October 16th, for example, when he left work at 10:30 in the morning and wound up killing more than 2 hours in Bloomingdale, going to stores, then back to a house in the far west suburb. And we're talking about October 23rd, when he wasted more than 3 hours at home and stores and then going home again before returning to work. When you see that, does it make you angry?
Yeah, you wonder why. You just say, why? Why are you doing this?
Sorrentino has an interesting background. In 1988, he was charged with syndicated gambling, being in the business of bookmaking. He pled guilty to possessing a large quantity of sports wagers. All other charges were dropped. So what's Sorrentino up to lately? On November 7th, we watched him drive to this gas station, not to get gas, but to pick up something from the driver of another vehicle. Then he spent an hour inside this house, a house that police records show was the target of an illegal gambling raid in 1996, where police found piles of cash and sports wagers. Moving on, Sorrentino headed out in his gold Mercedes to a car dealership in Elmhurst and then to Lombard, where we lost him, wasting at least 4 hours that day. You were out in Elmhurst and Lombard today. What kind of work for the city were you doing there?
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Now, in response to our findings, Sorrentino and the other workers we reported on last night are under investigation by the City Inspector General.
To me, it's criminal, and that's something we're going to pursue vigorously and determine whether there's possible criminal prosecution that could result from it, and that's what I'd like to see happen in these cases.
The crime being?
The crime being theft. They're stealing the taxpayers' money.
What message do you want to give them, whether this will be tolerated anymore?
Right, again, people are going to be watching you. Everyone is going to be watching you every time you go to work, and you better understand that because you work for the taxpayers of Chicago.
With that in mind, we want to encourage you to continue calling us with those tips about government waste you see, whether it involves wasteful spending by city, county, state, or federal agencies. And now you can email us tips by logging on to cbs2chicago.com. You'll find a link to the investigative team. And we follow up on those tips, and we'll be reporting on anything that we get. Linda and Antonio?
Thank you, Pam.
Thanks, Pam.